Howdy toddy everybody, this is Tommy with Colonel Reb Scale Models coming at you with a final reveal for the 2021 Hasegawa Egg Plane Group Build hosted by Charlie Mack and Munchin Modeling Man 72 Daniel. First, obviously thanks you guys again for hosting this group build. It's one of my favorites. I've said that time and time again, but these are really fun little kits to do. They don't take a lot of time and you can get as creative as you want to with them. Seam work is usually, pretty easy to get by. It's usually minimal, and then except sometimes for decals, they can be a little bit of a challenge, but for the most part, they're pretty easy. This one was no different. It was really fun. It's the Hughes 500 Defender is the military version of it. This is not, obviously, doesn't look like the box art, so I decided to do I originally wanted to do a 3-color camo. This is a dark gray. It's actually a Panzer gray on a light gray, which is really the primer that I used. And then I was going to have a green, but when I was doing my puttying and I made a little bit of a snafu, it kind of pulled some stuff away. And I thought, well, I'm not going to go back and try to put back some silly putty where I had some of the markings as they got pulled off. So I said, you know what, I'll stick with a two-tone camo, which is the dark gray and the light gray, and I think it turned out pretty well. The decals on this, I'm going to go ahead and get it spinning here in my little pumpkin spinner thingy. The decals on this actually went on really well. I was surprised. Having done the Warhawk with that shark mouth and the contoured rounded edges was really difficult, but these decals went on really, really good. These are the roundels and markings that came with the kit. The only thing I didn't do, I did not use the orange decal supplied for the rotor tips. I masked and painted those, and that's actually a Tester's, I think it's Go Mango, and it actually came out to look very much similar to the orange that's on the tail rotor. That is a decal, and it's got the white stripe in the middle. That one laid down, that was amazing. It went on, I put it on the top, laid it across, and then kind of pushed down, and it really just sucked itself all the way around the rotor and almost lined up perfectly all the way around. And then I just dabbed it with the cotton bud and then let it dry, and it was good. I didn't have to use any microset, microsol on any of these decals. And they're actually put on over flat paint, and they did not silver, and I was able to get the flat clear over it and seal them in, and when you look at them really close, you don't even see it. So I was really, really surprised with that. Those turned out really well. There's the Army one here. There's this red one is a red band. That's a separate decal. It wrapped around perfectly. It lined up just right under the bottom of the tail boom. And then the words, if I can zoom in there, the words actually are a different decal. So then you put those on top, and they went on really well. The only part I really had a challenge with wasn't necessarily masking the canopy, but was just the canopy fit. This whole front piece is just like 1/2 of an egg almost. It's cut right in half. That whole piece that's canopy, there's not a lot of space for it to line up on, and then just to try to get it lined up and glued, it was just kind of a chore. So there is kind of a nasty seam right there, but I'm gonna let that go. I think it looks fine as it is. The canopy, like I said, I taped it off. It took me about 1.5 hours to get it all taped up with the Tamiya tape, but I think it turned out really well. I'm really pleased with that, and I think overall it kind of looks good with the dark gray and the light gray camo pattern. Other than that, I mean, it's a pretty straightforward little build for an egg plane or egg chopper helicopter. I'm not sure exactly what country that decal is supposed to be from. I did look it up and tried to find some references to it. So I'm thinking it's either an African country or maybe some type of Middle Eastern country, maybe like Bahrain or something, that has a flag or insignia that's red, green, and black. There's not many countries that have that as on their flag. So I'm not really sure exactly which one it was. I did see pictures online of this actual helicopter, but it still didn't give me information on what it was. So if anybody out there knows for sure 100%, I haven't actually looked up different insignias on Air Forces, so I'm not really sure if it would show me that or not. But when I did searches for like the Hughes 500 Defender and different countries, and even the flags that use those, there's a certain number of flags that have the red, black, and green. So I'm not really sure. I would have to think it's probably one of the Middle Eastern ones. I'm not really sure. But overall, that's it. I mean, it was a good little build. It's always fun to do these little egg planes or helicopters. And everything went together really well, I thought. This one is similar to the one I think that Daniel's doing. It's the civilian version, so it doesn't have the dome on the top. It doesn't have the canopy is kind of masked the same, but you'd have a different color scheme, and it doesn't have these rocket pods on the side. But other than that, I think it's pretty straightforward. There's some, when you do research on the 500 Defender, there are different things other than these rocket pods. They can put different type of armaments on there. But for the most part, the rest of the helicopter stays the same. So anyway, that's about it. I'm starting to ramble now. It's about 6 minutes long. Again, thanks to Daniel and thanks to Charlie Mack for hosting this Hasegawa egg plane build again this year, and looking forward to it for next year. I've still got probably 7 or 8 of these in my stash. Have the other helicopter too, but definitely looking forward to doing another one of these next year. So again, thanks guys for hosting this. Appreciate you bringing it to the community, getting everybody involved, because they are fun little things, and everybody should be building one. They're not expensive. You can get them online. You might have to wait a little bit to get them, but I mean, some of these are less than $10 with free shipping with Amazon. So go get you one. There's lots to pick from, and they're always fun to do. So anyway, everybody stay safe out there. Follow your protocols when you can. As always, hotty toddy, and God bless.